So, I woke up this morning and was going to take you out and give you our first garden tour. We had a lot of stuff blooming the day before yesterday, and I had succulents coming up. Our crabapple tree bloomed, and we had a lot of perennials starting to come up in the herb garden. And so I had a cute bandana picked out, and then I checked the weather and realized that I needed a winter hat and a coat. So I'm going to take you out still for our first garden tour, but it's gonna look just a little bit different. We woke up to about 4 inches of snow, and we kind of knew that it was possibly coming, but yeah, it's quite lovely on the trees. I would say I could easily just tap my feet and huff and puff like some of my kids are that it's snowing at the end of April. But when you look at trees like that and you see every intricate detail of those branches, you know that our God has everything under control. So I figured I would walk around and show you a little bit of our garden that is under snow. The kids thought this was quite cute. We're not quite sure if he's a nutcracker or some type of British Queen Guard, but it was funny. So this was where my little pink almond bush was. You can still see the blooms under the snow, but it completely got crushed in the heaviness of it. I will walk you around the back here. There are some other things that have bloomed over here. We had some flower boxes, and I was quite prepared, and we dug up everything that we planted in those flower boxes. We had just recently built this little entryway deck last week or two ago, and I kind of got ahead of myself and put flowers in the flower boxes, but I knew this was coming, so we dug them all up, and they're in our laundry room. This is our backyard on our way to the gardens. Don't know if I'll be able to make it all the way around. This is our honeysuckle bush. It was as tall as that bird feeder there. You could barely see the bird feeder, but under the weight of snow. Yeah. This is going to our side garden. I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to get all the way out there, but this is where our pumpkin patch is, and we have cattle panels. Aren't those so lovely in the snow? They're just so lovely. There's our kitchen garden with our hoops over for our row covers, which we haven't planted anything in. There is garlic in that back row coming up. I will walk over there and show you a little bit more. Fences with snow on them are cold. There's a lot of robins out. Oh, the cattle panels with snow. It's just a whole new look on those cattle panel arches. That fence looks like it probably fell over in the snow. We did have some perennial herbs coming up here, but I think they'll be okay. This is the new chicken run that we had just finished building the fence 2 days ago, and the tree has weighed down so heavy in snow that it is over that. We could totally walk under that with no problem. Those branches were higher, probably about to the middle of that just 2 days ago. And look at this. It's like a snow tunnel. It is just unbelievable. I've reminded myself often that I get excited when seasons change. The Lord knows I need a break from the constant projects we do outside and the projects that I do inside. When things like this happen, it just takes my breath away. This is just so beautiful. Our God is so good, and He knew this weather was going to happen. And sometimes I feel like He does that to get us to slow down a little bit. My house was quite a mess, actually, this last week, because I have focused so much outside. Maybe the Lord knew that I needed a clean house. This was our apple tree. This was one of the only 4 original ones we have, and it was covered in blooms. And they won't survive, but they are awfully pretty. So this is the orchard side of our yard, part of our garden. Those are some 4 fruit trees we planted 3 years ago. 2 of them have blooms on them, but they're about 3 or 4 years old and we don't get a lot of fruit from them. We have 4 new fruit trees that will go here that are actually in my laundry room right now. We have put those in and new. It probably wasn't a very good idea to do that. So I'm going to walk you back to the back garden. I am pretty sure we've got at least 4 inches of snow. Might even be a little bit more with the wind. There's our kitchen garden and our pumpkin patch again. Right behind our garage. And then back here is part of our big garden. We have grow tunnels, and in between we have these big boxes here. This had strawberries in it. None of them have bloomed. And there's a field back of our house. None of them have bloomed yet, so that was a blessing. There's another box. That's a raised bed that attaches those. And then right behind our little shed is going to be an asparagus patch. We don't have that filled yet. And then this is our main garden. It's got 8 raised beds. And there is a perennial garden that goes around the perimeter of the fence. And there's a perennial garden that goes around the interior perimeter of herbs. We had some herbs coming up in here, and then this whole bed right here is all garlic. Those should be okay. And then I will take you along the path here to the greenhouse. This is our herb garden. We have some blueberries and strawberries growing along the side here. This is going to be our savory herb garden. There was a sage bush right there that started to come back and was doing really well. We had just planted 6 rhubarb plants right there last week when it was 70 degrees. Along this fence here are some grapes, and they had started to leaf out a little bit. Those should be okay. And there's our other savory herb garden, and then we have trellises over those beds where we'll grow snap peas and other things. There's the entrance to the big garden. And cattle panels we have up for our tomatoes. So I thought I'd give you a garden tour when things were starting to pop up, but the beds weren't really cleaned out completely. And instead, you get a garden tour under 4 inches of snow. This is one of our fences of black cap raspberries or black raspberries. They were leafing out pretty good. And this is our greenhouse. It's a breathable greenhouse. We can grow throughout the year, but we haven't really set it up to be grown in winter yet. We have some screen windows that pop out and different other things we haven't quite figured out. This is the first official winter and spring that it's been completely finished, except the inside just needs to be tidied up. So we haven't really grown in it yet. We are now walking through the arbor and the gate by the greenhouse. I'll show you the last section of our garden. This is a new garden area that we built last fall, and it is a tea garden and a cut flower garden. My daughter and loves cut flowers, so we made some raised beds in here and don't really have anything in there yet. Hopefully this spring, well, it is spring, y'all. It's just Indiana spring. We can buy some plants and really make that garden space come alive. This was an area next to our herb garden that had a lot of succulents coming up. They had some herbs coming up too, lemon balm. I guess we'll see next week what all survived under that blanket of snow. So that is our garden spaces. I can't take you in the back door without showing you all these lovely trees covered in snow. And thank the Lord that our power did not go out last night. We have a power line right there on our house. And this is our big crabapple tree. And last night we had a branch snap and fall in the chicken run. That's our chicken run. Needs some work. We just grow chickens there. We don't have vegetables. We do have a perennial garden, and those are all irises that were coming up. So yeah, that broke. The weight of these branches is unbelievable. These branches were up high, almost to the roof line there. I was just out here 2 days ago painting the railing on the deck, and I took a picture, and all these branches were much, much higher than that. Well, the Lord is really watching out for us. You can see that power line up there, right under that branch. I'm praying that the Lord just keeps the power on. And if not, then it'll be all right. We'll pull out our oil lamps and our candles and have a glorious time. So friends, as I head myself back inside, I'm already dreaming of the cup of tea that I'm going to have. My fingers are quite cold. But that is our garden tour. Hopefully, sooner than later, I will be able to give you a tour when there's not a lot of snow on the ground. Well friends, that is our garden tour. Hopefully soon I can show you what it looks like without a blanket of snow. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.